Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yo, it's your boy ANYAUGO, aka Mr. Ziggs, aka the Magnum Sipper, aka Mr. Condom Ripper. And I'm here with my boy
ESLA. You already know what it is.
Come on.
It's your boy, man. Listen, me, I'm just a street guy. I'm in my talk your shit mode today. Everybody's getting it.
What's your vibe, man? You came with the ankle.
Yes, sir.
Ankle.
Everybody's getting it. You see this disguise? Everybody's getting this smoke.
Yes, and so it's your boy ANYAUGO and your man ESLA, and we're at the TCT podcast. And we're back again for another episode. You know how it is.
Yeah.
We're trying to bring things together.
Yes, sir.
That's the problem. No pun intended. Yeah, come on. So got a brilliant show for you today. We're just gonna, as usual, kick it, chop it up, try and bring some intellectual wisdom together, try and be open, honest, have a productive conversation that we hope inspires people. Like anyone who's listening, just inspires you to do whatever you want to do in it. Like there's no set principle. You can, just like the Bible, you can view it and take whatever you want from it that's beneficial from your life. So that's what we're here to do.
And everything is beneficial for you. Just depends on if you have a third eye.
Exactly.
Shout out to Game of Thrones. Just depends if you have a third eye. Everything is pretty useful. So yeah. I'm pretty excited.
Yes. Nice one. So what are we going to talk about today? We got a couple stuff.
You're the MC now.
I'm the MC. Let me drop
the
it.
Program lined up. At the MC.
Let me drop it. Oh, we got some interesting talk today. You know that one? Faster.
What's my brain, sir?
Faster. Come on.
It, sir.
Alright, cool. So the question for you is like why do you think people rebel against religion now? As in now, in this sense, like there's a lot of people kind of like, as in,
I don't know what take on this.
They're like, they seem more rebellious or dismissive against religion, unlike how it seemed as it was before, back in the day and previous time. So, what do you think that is?
Personally, I think the increase of assimilation of information has played a very big part in terms of now everybody has access, and because everybody has access to Google, what is this, Google, what is that, people are able to start thinking for themselves. However, that doesn't still mean thinking for yourself, you're doing the right things and all that kind of stuff. Because like you can have information, but just because you have information doesn't necessarily mean you can decipher it and be knowledgeable about the information you have.
Yeah.
Information can be very alien to you. It just depends on your dedication and willingness to understand that knowledge, which I don't feel like we're good at present at the moment. But I definitely think it's information, because back then our parents just relied on the newspaper, all of that kind of stuff, which was not necessarily reliable because it was just a one-sided like view of the world, you know, and it was easy to just manipulate everybody like that. And because that was just the norm, like challenging that status quo at that time would have been very, very difficult. So it was just more easier to just comply and just do what everybody's doing in the community and not try and argue, because the heat would have just been way too much. Because no matter what you say, nobody will agree with you, especially back then. So yeah, what about you? What do you think?
So like I agree with that. I feel like the fear of obviously being secluded from society obviously would deter you from doing that. And now in our generation we're getting a lot of people that are more there's a lot more people doing it, so it's inspiring for a lot of people to now want to be able to do it, because you see kind of other people doing it and expressing themselves that way. However, like back in our parents' generation, right, obviously there's obviously the fear that you don't want to be ostracized. However, the fact, like on some level, isn't there like some deeper level of like motivation or inspiration in you to be like, yeah, there's a chance I'm gonna get ostracized. However, in my core soul, I've really thought about this, and I believe this is the way to go. Isn't there an innate sense in you to be like, I'd rather risk being sure of myself than just going with the rest of the flow? Because if the rest of the flow doesn't go, like, what if the rest of society is wrong?
At that time?
Yeah, at that time.
Yeah, but bro, it's difficult. It's difficult for you to do. It's difficult for you to challenge at that time, because imagine, you know, like right now, where like if I'm starting a brand new argument, society is civilized enough for me. Is civilized enough for me to be able to, like, you know, go and do my research, bring data, and show them why the way they're thinking right now is wrong, and then they'll completely agree with me. Back then, there was nothing like that.
There was no proof. You yourself, you had no proof.
Yeah, you had no proof.
Yeah.
You don't, like, even if you saw something, the fact that you can't prove that you saw that shit, like, nigga, you're lying. And even some, have you not heard of like cases where, like, you know, people saw like evil spirits and ghosts, and then they came and told the king, and then the king said blasphemy, and then sentenced them to death.
I'm screaming.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that it would have been very difficult. I feel like back in the day. So it's just one of those things, man. Well, I feel like now we have much information. However, my problem is with the information we have right now, we're still doing the same thing, but in different ways. Because people are twisting information to suit the narrative they want to sell to people, not necessarily the truth. And it's even more disappointing in that generation because, excuse me, the fact that everybody can think it for themselves and get information, I don't understand why. The fact that everybody can get information and understand certain things for themselves. I don't understand why we still look up to people's news of religion to still have a judgment. Now that we have access to this information now, as opposed to our parents, I feel like everybody should do themselves that service of investigating what you want to learn and all that kind of stuff.
But for me, I feel like, so back in that time, right?
Yeah.
If you're not brave enough to, although you didn't have proof, you're not brave enough to back yourself. I understand it's a deterrent factor, right? Not being able to have proof back in that time. However, if you're brave enough to back out, then you would have backed out anyways, regardless of the fact that you didn't have proof. Because now that we're having all these people being rebellious, they're rebelling under the fact of other people that have been rebellious or during those times in our parents' generation that were not so popular. As in, they were inspired by those people. So I feel like if you truly believe in your conviction, you would have been able to rebel anyways back then. And the people that didn't, right, it will be in the same situation now. Even if you give them those information, even if you tell them, bim bam boom, this is it. Their mindset is for me, I would say, is designed out of fear rather than drive to actually achieve something great.
But that's how society was civilized back then, though. It was solely ruled by culture, and if you question culture, it almost question the status quo right now. Now the way dynamics is shaped, the way the society dynamics is shaped with this sense of you have free speech, and the government is not as how would I say, it's not as brutal as how the kings were, where if you say something now they'll kill you. Now, okay, even if you say something about the government and the government will kill you, there's courts, there's police, so there's more chance to express yourself as a citizen now as opposed to it was back in the day. That's why I feel like now it's just more easier for you to challenge status quo as opposed to before. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's possible. Also, in addition to that, another reason that it might be possible that we're seeing a lot more rebellions is because right now we're in something called the age of Aquarius. Shout out to all the Aquarians. It's our time.
Wait, what?
It's our period.
Explain.
So there's this belief, right, that the constellation, the stars, they move in cycles. So you know when you have like within every 12 months, right? You have Capricorn, Aquarius, right? So let's say February is Aquarius, March is Pisces. I'm just giving a rudimentary example, but do you know how that? When they say when are you born? And then
I'm a Leo.
Yeah, Leo, right?
Okay.
So they believe that sets that calendar, right? How it's present in the sky. That stuff shifts every 2,000 years. So after every 2,000 years, if you're so now let's say if you're born between July 1st and July 30th, I'm giving an example.
Yeah.
You are a Leo. Now to shift in sense that if you're born between July 1st and July 30th, you're now something else. Maybe you're now I don't know what's the next one.
For a Leo, then I think Capricorn.
Capricorn, yeah, whatever, right? So what it means is that period, as in that calendar cycle, has changed, and that happens every 2,000 years.
Yeah.
And now we're in the next calendar cycle that's called Aquarius. And for these 2,000 years, there are some characteristics of that, and one of that is rebellion, because Aquarius people we tend not to like authority. Like we're quite rebellious against authority. Yeah.
Are you like that too?
I'm very like guy. What did I tell you? If I'm about to turn on this TV
and you
talk, I want to murder you. Literally, I know it's not good to say, but as it flies to my head the fact that you think you can tell me to do this shit. That's just for me it's like that, and I feel like that's part of the.
But generally speaking though, can you actually, because you're aware of this knowledge of like Aquarius season, have you actually observed this like things happening
for me
in the world right now?
Oh yes, like look at as okay. So right now the scientists now are saying we just entered. So on the last 2 years, that's when we entered the cycle. However, there's some talk that the cycle may have begun as far back as 2012, because you know when there was that rumor that the world is ending in 2012. What it might have been was that. Because it was based on the Mayan calendar. What we're having is that the Mayans were calculating the last 2,000 year cycle. So the last 2,000 year cycle was going to end on that December 21st, 2012. And then from there, we're going to enter the next 2,000 cycle that we're in now. Okay. So that's what they were calibrating. So, and if you look at from 2012 to now, how many rebellious shit has been happening? Black Lives Matter, like everywhere in the world, everybody's been uprising. Feminist movement started, trans movement. In 2000, it's like everybody was just cool with it.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there was rights for black people, rights as an active, but it was calm. Yeah. All of a sudden, in the last decade, like, it's like, guys, now they're anti-rights. Everybody, vegans are trying to have rights. Yeah, everybody has rights right now, man. Everybody's fighting for that shit. So it's part of the shout out vegans. Shout out vegans. Shout out vegans. Shout out to all the vegans. But yes, like everybody now is like trying to like it's a characteristic of that Aquarius trait.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why did you say every morning I should stand up and look up? Why? It's as in I know you said it, but why? Why should I do that shit?
This is what do you know something that's so interesting? I think like with like the connection of like the world is so connected in a way that like I feel like we neglect it. Because like if you think about this thing, right? I know some people like, you know, laugh at astrology and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, like there's nothing that is stupid.
It's not.
The fact that everything exists for a reason.
For a reason.
And if you pay attention to it, like you get more understanding of the world,
facts.
Because like I feel like even this like Aquarius season and all that kind of stuff is you know that the whole earth is made of like atoms and all that kind of stuff. It's interesting to actually study the stars, man.
Yes.
And the star movement.
Yes.
And I know like you know, it might sound crazy, it might sound like far-fetched, it might sound like conspiracy. But like actually paying attention and understanding this element might actually really teach you who you are.
Facts.
Because you know like how they say like star signs and all that kind of stuff. Like for example, like some of the characteristics of like Leos that I see, I swear to God, like they actually fit.
Yes.
And okay, maybe people might guess, people might all that, but it's impossible, man. Most Leo actually share that shit.
Yeah.
And it's actually like you actually really resonate with that.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't feel like it's just so fluky. I feel like there's an explanation to it that we're just neglecting it because we just feel like it's a bit I don't know. There's a little bit of a superficial element to it.
But again, it's even tying back to things that I feel like there's been some lost knowledge because our ancestors understood that shit. They used to use it like they could see the stars and
It's
knew
funny now.
something was about to happen.
If you do it now, they say, "Oh yeah, this guy is just what the fuck."
Again, it's I feel like back to that religion point. People that do that now, right? If you went back in the religious time and you told them, "Yo, guys, look at all the information, you're being fooled."
Yeah.
Back then, they won't believe. Now, with the internet, there are people like that, man. They just, as in, I feel like they don't want to believe. They just want to be. I've been saying that I feel like 90% of the world is sheep.
I agree.
They just want to be led. They don't want to do any leadership. So it's up to you if you're part of the shepherd group to be like, where do I want to lead these people to? And I feel like that's your own testament. That's your own trial. That's your own like Herculean, like. I feel like that's what you be judged on a God level, like, which is why I touch on points like when you have leaders.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop his name. Leaders like President Buhari. When you're given that much power, right, and you choose not to do something great with it, I feel like that's what you're tested on. Because if 90% of the world are sheep, and you're part of the 10% that got the opportunity, it's irresponsible for you to neglect it. I don't judge where you want to lead these people because you have the right to lead them. However, the outcome, if you actually led them astray, I feel like that's on a God. That's where the God judgment of, and it's not like a good or bad, like God to punish you, but it's the fact that you had this, what you call great power comes great responsibility. You had this great power, and you chose to be irresponsible with it. So, yeah, I feel like that's kind of how people should look at it. For all the people that feel, okay, I don't necessarily agree with how the world thinks. Honestly, think about where the world should be going, and then try and get us there. Honestly, and not on a selfish like level. Like honestly, think about. I say like things like, imagine if you're a god, right? Imagine if you're the one that created all this stuff. All this stuff was yours.
Yeah.
What would you do with it? Like, would you, like, oh, I just want all these people to fight and kill themselves. I just want people to, you get what I'm saying? Like, once you put yourself in that mindset, you then discover who you really are. Because in that mindset, you're the ultimate, most powerful thing you can. So everything you do is innate. It's not out of necessity, oh, these people are making me do this. It's up to you. It's down to you. So in that psychology, whatever you decide to do shows your true character. And if you start thinking like that, like, in this situation, if I was God, what would I do? How would I react? How would I create the best possible outcome for this scenario? And if we did that, I believe the world would be a better place. I'm not saying for sure, but I believe the world would be a better place. Because again, not about good or bad, but I feel like people will be doing things out of honor, out of what they genuinely think is right. So, yeah.
You know, there's something you actually said that I was just been thinking about. It's like when you said 90% of the world are sheep. But in actual reality, if you think about it like in this world actually, it's easier to be a sheep than to be a shepherd. Because by being a shepherd, there's a lot of politics that, you know, that will allow you.
But you get a lot of perks as well.
No, but with the perks comes some kind of like unbearable losses now. And there's only a certain amount of people that can actually take it.
That's true.
Because sometimes, like, for example, some of the perks can be, you can never be a family man. And fuck that. Like, to me, that's so dead. Yeah. I don't believe, like, work is so important that, like, I'll just solely concentrate my life to it and not care about family. No. I think my family is just as important as my work and everything I'm doing. So it's like, in a way, I do sympathize with us as humans because, like, the path to being a shepherd is not as easy. Like, and for time, I feel like our species has deliberately like made that like, our species has made that like so deliberate in terms of like, okay, you started off from like monarchs, right? Oh yeah, your bloodline made you deserve.
Deserve.
Instead of Instead of like, yo, who's the right person?
I mean, come on.
But I know your bloodline.
You deserve
this thing.
What?
And then now
He's the rightful king. Who the fuck is this guy?
and then politics happens next. And then even with the politics, so they say, okay, they promise that vote to put people in governor. But then the more people get in there, they use their connections to bring their own people in there.
Yeah.
And then it's difficult. But in night and here.
Yeah.
Because it's just the same people that just keep ruling. With a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's very difficult, man, to be a shepherd. That's why I don't know.
But like, if it's not for you, don't do it. Like when I say 90% of people are sheep. When I say 90% of people are sheep, I'm not saying it in a condescending, judgmental way.
No, I totally get that.
I'm saying it like to your point. 90% of people don't want that responsibility. 90% of people would rather like. I was reading some stuff about how the way people react to alpha males, like even in like Ape Kingdom, like the silverbacks. The reason the silverback is giving love, right? Like they'll let him eat first, they'll let him get the first pick of the mates, is because they know that in that community, when the trouble comes, when someone is evading them, he will put himself on the line. So the fact that he's going to do that, this is them showing him his reward. Like they're giving him that perks. So I feel like a lot of people do that. So a lot of people are like, I don't want this responsibility, so I'll give you all the rights you want to be able to take on this responsibility for me. And I feel like 90% of the world are like that. 90% of the world just rather live a normal life and offshore that responsibility to someone else and give them the perks for it, to allow them the privileges. Like the president can have 50 bodyguards. I don't have any bodyguards, but he's allowed to have 50 bodyguards because I know when it's time to go to shit, he'll come cover my back. However, the fucked up thing then becomes that president, when he's now the person that says, oh, I want this responsibility. When he gets there and he's getting all the perks, he doesn't want to do the responsibility. And that becomes fucked up. So for people that do that, people that do say, okay, I'll take on this stuff, don't go there and misbehave. Like that's when I feel like that's where your judgment comes as a human. If you do step up. Because you don't remember we're talking about all these things we're doing is up to us. We don't have to do this. You can be born and just live your normal course. Like
we just create meaning.
We create meaning.
It's more exciting.
Yes, and I feel like when you do create that meaning, and then because I feel like the most sin you do is against yourself. When you do intentionally go sin against yourself, that's when you're actually sinning. Because you created this meaning. You said that this is how you want this responsibility to shape the world.
To be like,
and then you went and fucked it up. So be responsible and accountable for your actions. You don't have to do it. You can relegate that decision to someone else. But whoever takes it up,
you have to live up to that.
You have to live up. And society should give them the perks. Don't come to me after I die and tell me I was the great. No.
One of the great that existed. As you were so kind, you were a gentle giant.
As everybody knows. As Dr. Omar says, submit your resumes. All the shorties. Give me my loving now.
Give me all my flowers. Give it to me when I'm dead.
No, come on, man.
Nah. Well, fair enough though.
Yeah, that's a mad one.
What else we got?
Bim bam boom. Of course, we gotta talk about some diversity. Some diversity issues. Diversity. In the UK, these guys did an independent study, right?
It's close to the
yeah. And the UK did an independent study that said that they're not racist. Yeah, that's some gangster shit. That's gangster as fuck.
That's not gangster. That's just the white supremacy flag. Like they have it. I just imagine they have it on the horse and they just writing white supremacy. They say white only.
It's like your girl accuses you of cheating. You go and call someone and say, "Did I cheat?" That person say no. You say, "Babe," as in. But no, you're the one that called that person, man. As in, I'm supposed to get the source.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that. Oh, he said I'm. He's working with you. You guys are cool. He's going to side of you. What do you mean?
If my girlfriend I'm actually doing the same girl.
Make the girl. Gangster, man. That's some gangster stuff. But yes, boom, bam, boom, diversity. So there's in the polo cheat area. Pollock Shield, which is like an area in Glasgow, in the Glasgow Asian community. Quite next to my ends. I mean, some people say it's a bit sketch. I don't know. Since I live in that end, I just want to show support and love of the community. I kind of currently live and belong in it. So I'll...
Careful, boy. Your tongue. Your tongue.
So that's what I'm saying. I have to show love. So
you don't have to.
I need to show love. I need to show love. So yeah. So there was a recent issue in the news where apparently there was some guy in the community who's I don't know what happened.
There are two
guys.
So basically, backstory: there are two immigrants. I think they're illegal immigrants.
Oh, loud.
And
oh, loud.
And I think so. The Home Office. Apparently, I think the Home Office, they've been doing raids, but most recently, I think what angered the protesters on that day was the fact that they were carrying out that raid on the day of Eid. And
whoa, for real? Come on.
So yeah, exactly. It's like deporting somebody on Christmas Day. So the thing is,
but you know they would have deported a black person clean, regardless of who was on the street.
Nigga, New Year.
Regardless of who was on the street.
Nigga, New Year, going back to TV. Going back to Ghana Republic.
Nigga, anyways, you're leaving.
But the thing is, so yeah, so that was the argument.
Yeah.
And more interesting, there's a white guy that went under the van so that the van wouldn't move.
For real?
Yeah.
That was risky.
Risky? That's not risky. He's white.
Yeah.
You think
true. Yeah, true.
If it was a black man.
Oh, that's what it is.
They press the accelerator.
Oh shit, man.
Right,
I think your mic.
My mic. No, my mic is gonna look.
It's
I can see it in the. No, I can see it there.
Yeah, I can see it, but it's not coming through my headset anymore.
Yo, testing.
As if it's coming through.
Testing. Yeah, it's coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't hear it through the mic anymore. But alright, cool. Alright, but keep going.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it, man. For context, as in the So pretty much because of their protest, they essentially like they released those people after 8 hours. So yeah. So my thing with that is like when that situation happened, I couldn't help but think about how
what do you mean you couldn't help but think?
How unification.
Wow, unification
could help
the
nigga the black community. Because especially right here, I don't know why we don't have the ability to have African markets, African areas in every community we occupy. Everywhere we occupy is called hoods, it's called slums, it's called ghettos. Like, why can't we just occupy a place where is the ghetto, is the heaven, it's the good, the bad, the ugly at the same time. We don't have to, like, I don't understand, because by having that, just like, you know, like the Asian community over here, like in Pollock Shield, right? The MP is going to be an Asian person, because there's like, that's the ethnic minority that represents large majority of Pollock Shield East. So it's like saying like us black Africans, like we are of numbers. Why can't we have our own place? Where, like, you know, we live in, we have our own community and, like, you know, contribute to like the economical like aspects of, like, you know, Scotland and like Britain and all that kind of stuff. It's like, I don't know if it's a cultural thing or I just still can't put my finger on it. Because it's like that elephant in the room where like everybody knows the problem, but it's just so complex to like solve that unity problem that we have, especially amongst our community. Because even when as blacks want to start doing stuff, you hear The Nigerians are helping themselves. The Ghanaians are not helping themselves. Even within the Nigerians, the Yoruba are helping themselves. The Igbos are not helping. It's just so crazy, man. And even within that Yoruba one, they'll say, these people from here, these people from here. It's just so crazy to me. So yeah, I don't know.
Now that's very key, man, because I feel like that's the key to our solution. The ability for us to take control in our destiny and be able to say, okay, like, why do we keep appealing to the moral consciousness of our oppressors? Because if our oppressors were morally conscious, they wouldn't have oppressed us in the first place. If you get what I'm saying? Why is that? I mean, yes, I'm not saying that's not a bad solution, but that solution, I feel, has not worked to its most effective. So why do we keep trying to go down that route instead of realizing the best solution is actually providing as much security for yourself within the context of where you're in? So I'll give the 3 pigs example, right? The wolf. The smart pig realized that the context was in was a wolf that could blow things down. So he built a house with sticks. It doesn't mean that the other people that built bricks, the other people that built a house with sticks and straws, in another context, that might have been the right house to build. But in the context you're facing now, the right house to build is using with bricks. And I feel like for us, we need to understand the context we're dealing with now. What is the actual right solution for us? And that right solution might be playing the game, which is the game is economically skewed. The game is politically skewed.
Money.
So
you need money, man.
You need to get that money, get that influence. So, and that's what these people realize. They come and they set up a whole community for themselves. So that now people? I mean people from like like
say it.
People east of Africa, as in far east Africa. I mean I'm just saying. Members of the community. Members of the community. You know the ones.
Queen of Sheba.
Them ones. Yes, but I feel like regardless of one community, for people like if you're in an area one that you feel threatens you need to do what's in your best interest to kind of safeguard yourself. And again, this doesn't necessarily have to be violent, but it has to understand the system in which it is. And the system in which it is understands context of economy and power and politics. So in that situation, if you set that community by yourself, when those people try and flex their own political power, you flex your political power back. When they flex their economic power, you flex your economic power back. And that's akin to what happened. The fact that you're able to come and say, nah, you can't come on Eid and take some mandem from us in our yard. These are community, man.
You're violating.
Come on. Whoa, you're violating. Come on. But I feel like we need to learn that, and part of learning that touches a topic that I feel like we need to be having, like our lack of value that we seem not to have for ourselves.
But all ties down to the conversation we had the other day about mental health, right? You know how we're talking about like the post effect of slavery is not the fact that like it's not freedom that we should be talking about. We should be talking about how it affected us. Yeah. Because that she's broken us in a way where like we don't even understand. I don't feel like we've even talked about and understood that yet.
Yeah.
We don't have a history, we don't have sense of identity, we don't have culture, we don't have a god, like we don't have nothing. Like everything we have is what they told us that we're supposed to have.
Yeah.
And that has its own damaging effect as well. Yeah. Because at some point, as human beings, we always our natural instinct will always battle with artificial instinct. And our natural instinct is naturally what is meant to carry us and make us live our lives as humans. But because we don't know how to use our natural instincts, all we know is our artificial instinct based on the history that's been presented to us. So you already know life is going to be complex from that point going forward. Because everything you've learned, everything you know is something they've told you and something you've learned. You've not had the opportunity to actually learn from yourself or from your ancestors, like really and truly without any interference, you know? So it's like, I feel like us not dealing with the effect of slavery and understanding how that's affected us like psychologically is something that we need to constantly do, because if we don't do that, we'll just keep blaming ourselves, keep killing ourselves, and just keep putting all these negative stereotypes on ourselves. Because I don't believe a black person wants to be late or all that kind of stuff. It might be deep rooted to our history. We don't know. But the thing is, like, in this modern day and age, like the Western culture, puts so much emphasis on time. To us, maybe if you read back to our ancestors, like in a actually very direct way, maybe actually time wasn't as relative as we saw it. Like, so essentially what I'm trying to say is, like, all these perspectives we have on the world right now, we never got the chance to learn this perspective from like a black African perspective. It was all influenced, all mixed, and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it would be difficult, man, for us to like unite, because there's so much, there's so many things that have been broken, man, that have not even addressed yet.
And do you feel like the yes, there was external influence into our problems, right? But there were some internal cracks that allowed that external influence to fester and break through.
Africans.
Yes, Africans. So do you feel like those internal things that we had, right? Which I feel one of those key factors is a lack of value and appreciation we have for each other. Do you think that's kind of why we are in our current situation and the karma of our current situation? And if we realize, boom, that's actually our original sin, not valuing each other. Because imagine we were like from the first guys that came and realized, wow, this person was trying to use this man for slave. And we went and like, nah, listen, now you're thinking it pays money. But bro, man, listen, this is not the best interest. And we fuck to each other. We actually, we didn't see it as, Yoruba tribe, Igbo tribe, all this thing. We knew we're different tribes, but we knew we're all one continent, and we knew what we had together, right, on this massive, beautiful continent. And we went to each other like, man, don't listen to them. Back this shit like this.
My thing with that is like, I feel like we're just unfortunate. We're just unfortunate to exist in that era, because our culture had elements that accommodated us to fail if stuff like that happened. First of all, our culture is very welcoming. And the culture over here in the West is very hostile. If they don't know who you are, they're just like, yo, who the fuck is this? Whereas in Nigeria, if somebody calls, welcome. Yeah, this is this place, boom, boom, boom.
And you be shouting on the person that lives in the yard. Hey, why don't you go and do?
You understand?
I'm like, nigga, I live here.
It's completely different.
I live here. I live here.
That movie,
this is my yard. Oh, Lord.
So it's like, already our culture accommodating that already made us disadvantaged in a way where like white people could explore, because they're coming from an angle where like they're operating in a method that favored their own culture, right? And because us, we like to act like, we like to accept people, and we like hospitality too much. Fake hospitality, by the way, because I still feel that, because the hospitality we practice in Africa is like, we are super nice to strangers, but then the ones in the house, we are very vicious and we act a certain way to them that doesn't even make sense. But anyways, so like Europeans coming from that angle where like, that they have to like know who you are in order for them to accept you, whereas us, we're just quickly to accept it. Like they quickly understood that and just exploited that. And as soon as they started exploiting that, that's when they started using that divide and conquer tactics, and to today, still happening. With the French colonies, with the whatever. What's Skanky Sweet?
I'm trying to fuck this shit, man. The comic is lying to me.
Nah, man, but it's actually very interesting. It's interesting the way.
Whoever designed this app, man, fucking hell.
Oh,
Virgil, Nike, just out.
YouTube.
Oh man.
Trademark.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool, man. Wait, I need to take a quick
Commercial break. Yeah,
donations. Yes, man. Obviously, I mean, we're just trying to do our thing, you know, promote ourselves, be congruent to ourselves, try and say things that are honest and true to what we actually believe, and hope it influences the world in a positive direction. So, in that light, if you fuck with us, you support us, I mean, show love.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we'll never turn away a kind gesture. So,
as far as I have my time, I'm finna say the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Uncle,
I will talk about
them Babylon.
the Jews.
Okay.
Shibandu and Adwaka. It's sweet. Yeah, this setup is nice, man. It's sick. It's very fucking sick. It's very, very fucking sick.
This vibe station,
Ziggy Rooms. Who say life no art? Every man got me struggle.
Yeah. I don't know why you're shouting my government name, man, but I'm just saying, man, we're just giving. Let's move on. Moving on to the next conversation, please. You know, tempers are hot right now. We're not included in the beef. You know them ones.
Look at it, son. Two Jewish people.
Off your mic.
I don't even minister. Off your mic.
It's trying too much, man. But yes, let's move on, man. Let's have some conversations in a positive direction. So,
Palestine is positive.
Nigga, we're trying to get out of our own shit, man. That is how our business. I just good for ourselves.
No worries, but
the thing is that I
feel you don't Palestine. No, I feel as a black man,
being congruent to the TCT podcast, I feel like the world should have an honest conversation about this. Because I don't know, like, I'm not, like, we hear certain sides of the story. No, there's one side, two sides, and the truth, right? So it's not about a situation of picking sides. But again, if we're congruent to the fact that we actually want the world to benefit, let's actually have honest conversations. What is actually going on there? And everybody be honest and objective. Even if you feel sentimental and biased based on your own experience and history of why you deserve. No, say your piece. Like, I don't feel people should judge you for that. If you say, no, we've been through so much shit, I feel like we deserve this, cool, that's fine. Drop your word. But let's actually have an honest conversation. What is with all pretense and stuff, man? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, the aliens are coming. Niggas, the aliens are coming. Come on, man. We have so much more stuff to be worrying about than fighting over a piece of land. Nigga, there's no boundary. Earth not demarcates any land.
By the way, you know what the claim was?
What?
They said the reason why they are fighting for that piece of land is because
they were
promises them.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude.
Imagine if I said that.
They said God promised them in the Bible.
Imagine if I told a girl, God promised me a piece. I'm just saying.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to call this a night. Thank you so much.
Yes! That's a wild claim. Imagine saying that God promised me this.
I mean,
wow, that's wild.
Imagine how Jusha felt.
I mean, he was doing God's work. Damn.
It took a dream for it.
Come on.
Jesus, come in a dream.
Imagine I told you that story.
Bro, God had to come.
Oh, man. But even then, I won't believe my dream. Come on. That's some witchcraft, man. You put that dream in me. Inception.
Imagine God pregnant your fiance.
I mean, I just want to have a conversation. Let's talk about it. I don't understand. Help me understand why I couldn't do it and you would have helped me raise my child.
No, but because he had to do it.
He just had to do it.
Yeah.
As in, you couldn't, as in, let me do it. You help me. Give me all the powers. You're God. You can do it. As in, whatever situation you want to achieve, you can achieve it any way you want. You're God.
As in, wanted it to do it through you.
Through me. Yeah, let me do it now.
No.
As in, you wanted me to wait.
No. Like, you're not worthy enough.
So,
to get his sperm.
Why am I here? I want me to take care of him. You want to take care of him for the next 18 years.
In fact, pay child support.
For the next 18 years.
And the house.
Oh, Lord.
Make sure you have CV.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. I'm just saying, I don't know the conversation Joseph and God had. But from what I've heard, I don't think Joseph got a fair deal. This is just me speaking. No judgment. I'm just saying.
Shout out to Jesus.
Shout out to Joseph, man. Joseph is the real MVP in this situation, man. He took one for whatever team. I don't know why he was playing on that team, but he took one for that team. And fair enough. I'm not judging. I don't know. Again, probably in that situation, if I heard what Joseph heard, I'd probably be like, yo.
God has humor, but God understands my humor, and he knows he's not going but like, this is how
I'm screaming. I'm fucking screaming.
Because, as a man,
I just want to understand. As in, if you're God and I fuck with God, I'm saying I will understand why you would say. I won't be like, how dare you say this, God?
Yeah.
I'll just be like, why? But as in, the why has to make sense, man. I can't see how you can, as in, you're God, you can do it whatever way you want. How? Why is it? What? I thought about boys. That's what I'm saying, man.
As in God, why can't you bless my sperm?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Come on, again. I don't understand, man. But anyways, man, that's between him and God, man. I'm not judging, so bim bam boom. On that topic of Joseph, Mary, and Jesus, why do you think? What do you think about religion as a philosophy?
When I think of religion, so basically, in my reform, the way I see religion, I never assimilate religion to any spiritual aspect.
Yeah.
I think religion is the day-to-day thing an individual does. Religion is the framework that every individual should adopt to their day-to-day activities, the way you treat other people in life.
Yeah.
So it should be treating people the way you want to be treated, telling the truth.
Yeah.
Being honest, not being deceitful, not being a backstabber, all that kind of stuff that the Bible encourages. And I feel like by reading the scriptures and understanding what Christianity is about, it will be easier for you to how do I put it? It will be easier for you. It will be easier for you to practice religion effectively without doing it and hoping that God takes you to heaven, as opposed to just doing it and just living a good Christian life, and then whatever comes.
Yeah.
But because like for me, I genuinely think like people assimilate religion to like this spiritual angle in the hopes of, I'm going to pretend to be this person, and hopefully when I die, God takes me to heaven. But essentially, religion is not meant to be like that.
Yeah.
Religion is meant to help you live your day-to-day life, just the way if you live a healthy life, you'll be able to do healthy. You'll be able to you'll be able to optimize like the amount of things you do because you're healthy.
Yeah.
So it's just like I feel like religion is like that, but a lot of people assimilate it to like that spiritual element, and it just makes it very superficial and funny. Well, not funny, and kind of difficult to follow in a way.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Do you think philosophy is a? Do you think religion is a philosophy, or do you think religion is just a parallel side of a culture in a way that people live?
I mean, I think it's a philosophy that acts as a parallel side of culture. Like I feel like it's a set of practices someone undergoes in the fundamental aim of trying to be a better person.
Okay.
Now, if your definition of a better person is this imagery of a God you've created in your head,
Yeah.
and that's what you believe perfection is, and your aim is to try and become that thing,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. Like making that God the central driving force of that philosophy or principle
Yeah.
that's guiding you. And if you want to make it anything else, I don't really have a problem with that. However, the fundamental drive should be the fact that you're trying to be a better person. That's what those philosophy and principles should guide. So if you imbibe your own philosophies and principles based on your natural experiences, based on what you've gone through life, and you say, okay, this is what I've learned and this is what I feel like this philosophy and principle should be, again, to me, that's fine. If you say, oh, I don't mind a preset, I don't mind, like I said before, 90% of the world wants to be sheep. So some people I want to have a preset. I want to be like guided in this way. So if you go and you find those presets that want to guide your philosophy and principles, go and do that too. If you feel like this doctrine of this, what we call it religion, like Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all that, is how you want to guide those philosophies and principles, go do this as well. But the fundamental thing I want people to understand is whatever path you choose, whether it's societal driven in the conventional sense of what we think about religion, or individualistic, the fundamental aim is it should be congruent to who you want to be as a better person. So if you're saying my definition of a better person is this definition that they've created, but you know that's deep down, that's actually not the journey. Those are not the things you want to be a better person at. Those are not the things from one aspect that you want to improve from a positive aspect, and from a negative aspect you want to diminish. But you're just assuming because you've chosen to take this thing, you just go, okay, I'm going to follow it. That does not beneficial to you. So make that decision based on you. Like if you feel Christianity will help you to be the best person you can be, follow that. If you believe it's Islam, follow that. If you believe it's based on certain principles you've made for yourself from your life, that it's not really, you don't want it to be influenced by God, it's your own decision, follow that. That is your own prerogative, and I don't have a problem with doing that. In the conversation of if God exists, that one is, as we can have that debate all day, because again, your definition of God changes in terms of what you mean by creator. However, we need to separate the link that because someone doesn't practice religion based on what we think is conventional to practice religion, they don't believe in God. Those are two separate issues. The person the being that created this world and a set of beliefs and practices you want to guide your life with are different. Like the God might not be interested in your life. He might be, he might not be. The fundamental thing is you have the responsibility to be the best person you can. So choose the path that is actually the best path that's going to help you get there.
Nah, I completely agree with what you said, to be honest. And it's like that's almost in a way exactly how I see religion, to be honest. I don't really, every story in the Bible I feel like is related to like a day-to-day life. Every story, lesson, songs, everything is related to a day-to-day life. The Bible talks about moderation. The Bible talks about hard work. The Bible talks about knowing yourself. The Bible talks about like taking care of yourself. Like the Bible is literally a manual of life. Likewise the Quran. Likewise the I don't know what the Buddhist.
I think it's
Buddhist.
Talmud or something. Talmud. I think.
I don't want to pronounce anything wrong, but I don't know what the Buddhist people. I don't know what you guys read. But I'm sure what you guys read as well. It's like a manual of life based on that philosophy. So it's like, in a way, that's how I see religion. I just see religion as something that can help an individual understand himself like unconditionally, especially from like especially if you have the gift of deciphering, like, all these parables and having like deeper understandings of, like, the messages that the
Yeah.
Bible talks about. So yeah, no, I most definitely agree with most things you've said. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's a wild one. It's a wild one. What else, man? What else? Do you got any church announcements? Anything you want to promote?
Church announcements. Hey man, I'm sure.
I mean, promote whatever things like, I don't know, whatever you want to work on.
Oh man. Oh, by the way, there's oh, actually, there's something as well that I wanted to even speak about in terms of
Yeah.
handling and tackling racism.
Talk to me.
We use this vicious, at the moment, the trend is to use a vicious approach to demand something that you're not really contributing towards, right?
Okay.
So, like in the black community, a lot of us, we want certain things, but we're not willing to work for it.
Yeah.
We just want the government to change it for us.
Yeah.
Want the government to give us equal opportunities, want them to do these things, but at the same time, we are hostile with the government. And apart from even just being hostile with the government, we don't have good financial structures to like help our communities grow, and we don't even have anything to offer the government in order for us to even like get allyship with them. So it's just like, what do you think is the more effective way to handle racism, especially here in the especially here, or like us diasporans that are living over in Europe, America? Like, what do you think is the most effective way of fighting like all this discrimination that's going on?
I feel like the most effective way for me is for us to be driven by emotion but directed by intellect.
Yes, sir. I agree.
And what I mean by that is, whatever you're feeling, you should feel it. Like, do not hide the feeling of anger, sadness, depression, insecurity based on the certain scenarios you're placed into every day, off the back of racism. Like, scenarios you just happen to find yourself with. Any feeling you get from that, as in, feel it. Like, don't, oh, this is just part of life. No. Yes, it might, as in, it's part of life in the wider context of you are living it, so it's part of life. However, it's still a situation that is unique to certain aspects of you, and there's a responsibility of you to desire to change it. So if you want to change something that you're not enjoying, no one should judge you for it like that. You have that prerogative to do that. So you should be allowed to feel however you feel based on those scenarios that have happened to you. However, be directed by intellect. Think about what is the best possible outcome I can get from this, and what is the best possible approach to get that desired outcome. Don't follow through just out of the emotional aspect of your drive. Like, oh, I feel sad, so my reaction to this must be a sad reaction. Or I feel angry, so my reaction to this must be an angry reaction. I feel depressed, so my reaction to this must be a depressed reaction. No, you can feel angry about it, but in the best scenario, your reaction to it should be a sad reaction, and you should go about that. And I feel like that's how we should not just handling racism, but handle all problems in our life. But racism as a problem in the day-to-day lives of melanated people, we should take it as that. Like, yes, feel whatever you're feeling, but think about the best possible outcome and approach in order to resolve that situation.
Like I said, us melanated people.
That's why I call us
different.
We're melanated. We got
different.
We got the boonsum. We got the big boonsum.
Juju man.
The boonsum. Come on, Rastafari. Come on. So yes.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, man. Shout Nasrel, the biggest skincare.
Yes.
In the UK. If you like shea butter and you don't have Nasrel right now, I can assure you that you're missing out, bro.
Where can they get it?
Bro, get at Nasrel Instagram at Nassuarl, NASSUARL. Or you can get that www.nassuarl.com as well. So yeah, man, we ship everywhere around the world.
Around the world,
Everywhere,
jeez.
bro. International,
Yes.
baby.
International, baby.
International.
Yes. You heard that. You heard that
All you
right.
just need to do is just click and support your boy. You
Come
know what I'm saying?
on. Let's get a black
Yeah,
owned,
man,
black doing it.
Let's
Taking care of that skin.
trust me.
Yes,
And let me tell
sir.
you something. There's no worse than having a crustier skin.
Come on.
Because my man, first of all, you can't get babes. And
Oh
as a girl
shit.
too,
Oh
if you
shit.
got crusty skin,
Out loud.
I'm just saying.
Out loud.
That's not something better as people. What am I? I don't even I like it raw. But who am I? Who am I? I'm not a dermatologist. I'm just telling you what the streets is saying, innit? So yeah, man. Check Nassuarl out. And yeah.
Yeah, and also, obviously, you know, it's your boy, ANYAUGO, aka Mr. Ziggs. Multiple personalities. Just moving in and out. So,
a lot of lamba.
Have you checked that yet? So, yeah, you know, this is, this recording is going under the TC podcast, but we'll probably even feature on the Ziggs room.
Yes, sir.
So,
it's not depending, it's certified.
It's coming up on there. Yes, sir. So, check me out on Instagram at zigzroom, zgz.rm. So you get, it's the home of Vibe Station. So get access to all the playlists. We've been doing a lot of vibes, put a lot out. Some more coming up shortly. We're dropping every week. So feel free to go in there, follow. You'll see the link to all my different accounts, YouTube's, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Music. So yeah, like, subscribe, tune in, vibes, stay vibing, and yeah, as usual, join in the conversation.
The best playlist in the world.
Yes, sir. Yes,
the best playlist in the world.
Yes, sir. Come on.
It gives you different vibes.
It gives you different vibes. Come on.
You want to cry?
Yes.
Blow.
Whatever.
If you understand, you want to do everything. You can get everything in that playlist.
Come on.
And if you're not following it already, guy, you're missing out.
You're missing out,
but
man.
then again, it's not. Don't listen to me. I'm just a guy that likes trends.
Yes,
right now, that's something that's trending.
Thank you. So, you heard it here first. And yeah, it's been real. Should we sign off?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so.